Hey guys, it's me. I need to remake one of my soaps today, so I thought I would show you guys how I do it. It's my honey and oat soap, which is probably one of my most popular soaps. It's actually really easy to do, so I thought I would show you the process and how it's done. So here we go. Okay, we'll get started. So I have here my oil blend. This is enough for a loaf I have that makes 17 bars. I'm not going to make any more than that right now. So I have my oils blended here. Before I add my lye, I'm going to add my little additives to my honey and oat soap. So first, I'm adding some bentonite clay. The first couple times I made this soap, I added colloidal oatmeal. Then I started using bentonite clay in some of my other soaps and found that I really liked it better than the oatmeal. So I used it in this, and I like it better in this too. So there's actually no actual oatmeal in this soap. The oatmeal just sort of comes from the fragrance. And next I'll use a little bit of sodium lactate. This will harden up the bars a bit. And then I do use honey in my soap. So this is some local raw organic honey from just outside of Austin. I'm just squeezing it into my little measuring cup here. So I add some honey. And I like to add these additives before I add the lye, so I don't get any surprises. Also, it just helps to blend the clay into the oils a little bit first. So anyway, we'll do that. Let me give this a little blend. Don't laugh at my gloves. I ran out of the blue ones that I usually use, so I had like surgical gloves from like my nursing kit from nursing school. So I'm using my last blue glove and a surgical glove. Anyway, we'll give this all a blend here. Now that that's blended, I think I'll go ahead and add my fragrance oil as well. This is a really nice like honey, oat, almond, I don't know, it's a blend of all kinds of stuff. It's really good. So I'll add that now, just because why not? You can see it's a little green tinted. That's from the olive oil. I try to buy lighter olive oils, but this fragrance actually will tint the soap kind of a medium beige color anyway. So, and the bentonite clay is a little bit green too, but I've done this recipe many times and it never looks green in the end result. So I'll add my lye now. My lye is actually mixed with 100% pure aloe. And I've been doing that in a lot of my soaps instead of water, just because I like it better. Aloe is really good for the skin as well. And it just makes a really nice bar. So it's also not an expensive additive, I guess. So rather than just using water, why not add some aloe? And guess what, guys? That's it. No colorants in this, no nothing. We're just gonna blend it up and send it into the mold and then into the oven. Can you see it's already turned this kind of like caramel color? That's really almost how the end result turns out, maybe just a little bit darker. So no green at all. And it really doesn't need any colorants. I think it's really nice on its own. It's also, you know, the purer it can be, the better. So as you can see, this fragrance oil behaves really well. It's still pretty thin. I'm not doing any colors or designs or anything like that, so I'm actually going to get it to a pretty thick trace before I pour it. But yeah, if I wanted to do some designs or colors or whatever, this would be a really good blend for it since it behaves so well. But for now, we'll just continue to blend it up into a thick trace. Okay, the soap is a nice thick consistency, so we'll just pour it into the mold here. This is a mold that I made myself. They're obviously super easy to make. which is basic materials. No reason to spend lots and lots of money on expensive molds. So you see it's pretty thick. It's warm too, it heats up from the, I think from the honey. So I'll just scrape my bowl down a little bit here and add the rest. And that's it. I'm just gonna texture the top a little bit and then pop it in the oven. So I did want to say one thing. I advertised that my soaps are vegan when possible, organic when possible, and local when possible. So those are all really important kind of qualities to me in a soap. This is the only soap I make that's not always vegan, and that's from the honey, because it comes from bees, I guess. And a couple of things to say on that. First of all, this soap can always be made without the honey. That would make it 100% vegan. And I have made it without the honey several times. But also everything that I've sort of read about beekeeping, it's a very sort of humane thing, especially when it's done on a small local level. And you know, honey is sort of a natural byproduct of the bees' daily lives anyway. It's not something that's harming them. They're not strapped into some machines to produce the honey. So I don't know. I don't really feel like honey is as controversial an ingredient as some other things, like, you know, people use beef tallow and lard and things like that in their soaps. I don't do any of that, but I don't really have a problem with honey. Some people might, so if you do, let me know, because I would actually like to know that, and maybe I won't use it anymore, although I've never really heard complaints from people about raw, local, organic honey. I don't know. I even know vegans who consume it, so I don't know. That's it, just a little funky little top. So what I do to oven process this is I pop it into a really low temperature oven, 170 Fahrenheit, for an hour. Then I turn off the heat and then leave it in the warm oven, basically overnight. I'll cut this tomorrow. I think the heat just helps to process the soap a little bit better. I don't do it with all my soaps. Some of them are really temperature sensitive, or I don't want them to gel, but this one I am very happy with the result when it oven processes. So we'll put this in the oven. There's the finished product. You can see how thick it is already. And I'll show you guys when it's cut and ready to go.